Welcome to Butte, Montana. This is, I think, one of the most fascinating cities in certainly Montana, if not the whole of the United States. Butte here is, I'm standing on what was called the richest hill. It is a history of copper mining, starting in sort of the 1860s, but of course booming around World War I. But there's so much more to the story here, including a lot of tragedy, a lot of deaths that happened underground, and deep, deep mines that occurred here. In fact, the biggest mine disaster in modern American history, or in American history, was 1917, when electrical wire caused a fire underground and hundreds were lost. In fact, they believe maybe thousands of people died in the mines here in Butte, and so therefore they say this is the birthplace of the Western Union movement, and there is the Carpenters Union Hall right across the street. But I am standing here by the courthouse, and I want to take you inside because it's just such a fascinating building. But first, let me show you this copper statue of the cowboy over here. So the Copper Wealth, just up the road about 30 miles, is Anaconda as well, the Anaconda Mining Company. They're the ones responsible for the Berkeley pit, which of course, huge amount of pollution that they're being forced to clean up now. And you can look at another YouTube video that I've put up about that. But here we are in 1910 when they start building this fabulous courthouse up here. But I just want to come up and share some of this story. Now, Butte is perhaps 40,000 people now. It's become a real center of lifestyle and sporting activities, but mining is still going on. So it's important to acknowledge that. So this building was dedicated in 1912. There is a huge amount of interesting architecture throughout Butte. In fact, it's the largest National Historic District, certainly in the west of the United States, or perhaps the entire United States. So do take a moment, and you can just pause the video and read the story there, and another historic marker here talking about the Butte Anaconda Historic District. Of course, anyone who has any kind of Irish roots as well might be aware of Butte, because per capita, it in fact is the highest Irish population of any city in the United States. So I was just over on Montana Street, so let's come in through the copper doors and we'll have a little peek inside this incredible building, because it is fascinating. Every time I come in here, I learn something new. So here is a monument to World War II fighters that came from the region here. And of course, miners were very, very effective in the wars, particularly sort of trench warfare or anything that involved, of course, having to go underground. But let's just come around, because here's one of the stands of these. I think there's 17 of these frames that used to drop people down into the mines for years and years, until finally they stopped doing the underground mining after such a huge amount of loss of life. So it's more of an open pit mining. I guess gives us a sense of Montana. We're in southwestern Montana now, in the big, big mountainous area down through there, which is just so fascinating to see. Yesterday, incidentally, I came down from just on the east side of Glacier National Park, right up by the border with Alberta, Canada, and then down along Flathead Lake. You'll see it here on the map, which is the largest natural freshwater body in the United States west of the Missouri. But let's just carry on into the main rotunda here. And I just want to show, first of all, you see Silver Bow County, Montana. That's where we are. And then let me just try and look up into this marble. There you see justice and philosophy. And then up higher, there is George Washington and Abraham Lincoln up there. And then this gorgeous dome that we see here. Now, these sort of buildings were testament to the kind of wealth that was generated in a community like this. But it's hard to imagine what the conditions were like for the average working people. So justice, philosophy, geography, extremely important in the American West, the North American West. And then of course, history, which is something I'm trying to share with people here. You'll also notice the copper roofs up there. Now, every time I've come into this courthouse, I've found something new to look at, but I just wanted to give a little taste and a little reason, a little argument as to why I think Butte is well worth a visit on any itinerary. And as you drive down through here, I'm heading for Yellowstone National Park. And so from here, I will go to Virginia City. You might have found one of my other videos about Virginia City, and Virginia City was the capital of Montana once upon a time, and that was gold mining back in the 1860s. Very important time, of course, because the United States was going through the horrendous and destructive Civil War. Let's have a little look here. There you are, the Copper King, Marcus Daly right over there. Pretty incredible. We'll go up one more floor. I'm just not speaking too loudly because this is, of course, an operating courthouse here. But a great view down onto the rotunda here. And when I've come in here and asked questions before, everyone's been so friendly. They're proud of their community, and they should be proud of it. By the way, on the wall, just below us there, is a monument from the Edmonton Police Service that comes and participates in the St. Patrick's Day's events. So the other thing I always recommend doing is at some point when you're in Butte, after you've hiked and biked and visited and learned about mines, then go into one of the Irish pubs for a pint of something or other. So thank you for coming and visiting this courthouse with me. And I would love to offer a longer tour here at some point. But the tour I'm doing, at least we come here for a couple of hours. And do check out my video from the Berkeley Pit. Thank you, and we will see you soon.